Okay, I do believe we are live on all platforms now. Welcome to Coffee, or in this case, seltzer water, with Regina. And I have my good friend Megan Nolan, all the way from Hawaii. Megan, how are you?
Hello. Good, thank you. Great to be back. Lovely to see you.
I am so excited to have you here again. I love our chats. I'll tell you, they're just always amazing. You have such amazing energy. So for everybody who doesn't know who Megan is, a little bit about her. Megan is leading a movement of entrepreneurs who care so much about how they feel that they make themselves and their health a priority every single day. She's a personal trainer, yoga instructor, and a mental fitness coach that helps heart-led entrepreneurs create a morning routine that helps them go strutting confidently into their day as their purposeful powerhouse CEO selves. She's the creator of the Mindful Strength Method, which is her unique combination of yoga, exercise, and mental fitness that gives you the tools you need to be vibrantly healthy and sustainably successful. How cool is that?
Thank you.
So
Appreciate that
I am
introduction.
so excited to have you here today because I know you got a bunch of stuff going on. The first question I want to ask you, let's start our conversation right with, geez, why do you think it's so important that people need this mental self care stuff, especially if you're a business owner?
Well, that's a great place to start because it really is the foundation, especially as a personal brand. We are our brand, we are our business, and your energy is the driving force in everything that you do. And it is something that if we aren't really intentional about prioritizing it, we can really easily let it slip to the bottom of the to-do list because literally there's always a million and one things that we could be doing, that we should be doing, and all of that. But the reality is, in order for you to live into your purpose, to be able to make the incredible impact and income that you're here to make, it does take a few things, including your mind, your body, and your spirit, your inspiration, your vivaciousness, your magnetism, all of that, right? And so sometimes we think, oh, yeah, no, I can do it. I'll get to that later. But it's kind of like running a triathlon. Like you have to complete all the events to qualify as a finalist or a winner, right? And so in order for you to get to the finish line of your goals, you need your body, your mind, and your spirit. And I love to be able to support other heart-led entrepreneurs in having routines and rituals that take care of all of that because yes, this stuff is important and it's literally vital. But we don't necessarily have all day to do it, right? Because of the aforementioned things that we have also to do. So why not figure out a way to weave all that together that nourishes you first and foremost as a incredible spiritual being having this beautiful human experience first and foremost, because that's of the utmost importance, but then also recognizes that you're a business owner, you're here to do big things, that aligns you to your vision and to your goals, so you are doing this with a level of intentionality and impactfulness.
You know, you just packed a ton in there, and that is just absolutely amazing. Because every time everything that you said there, I just kept thinking, burnout. There's so many entrepreneurs out there that it's just, well, I'm a business owner now, and I got to work, 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 and there's no self. I mean, I think balance is a relative term. However, I mean, you do need some balance, right? Because you need to take care of you and your business. So it's not really balance so much. It's like just doing it right. It's if you have it all work and well, all work and no play, as they say,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
you need that piece because burnout's a real thing. And especially for entrepreneurs, burnout is a really big problem with a lot of people because they don't take that time. And I know you've got program. You got. I remember. A couple of years ago, we put on as an add on to one of my programs your yoga at your desk. I mean,
Mhm.
you have so many simple ways to incorporate self-care into your day, like all day long. Tell us about like some tips and tricks on incorporating self-care so that you don't get burned out.
Yeah, and that's a really great question. And of course, it's such a real issue. I mean, 50% of entrepreneurs either have or will burn out. And I have, and it's a long road back and it's rough. It's not a place you want to visit. But the thing is, we always hear like it's easier to sell vitamins than it is to sell, or sorry, easier to sell painkillers than it is to sell vitamins. We can talk about prevention till the cows come home, but typically until people experience it or they get close to it, they realize how rough and tough it actually is. And so, as you said, it's so important, and it's a dance, right? I think work-life balance is kind of a misnomer, but it's how can we do these things with these little bite-sized moments, because that's kind of what it takes to sort of drip it into your day or weave it throughout your day. Because yeah, it's great for you to go and do like a 3-hour workout or yoga practice once a week, but then what about the other days? So I like to have little power pauses, little mindful minutes throughout the day, but really start with a morning routine. So my work is to really help people to amplify your morning routine. And actually, at the upcoming Sanity Saver series, you're going to learn how to do that. It's totally free. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it really sets the foundation for your entire day. And the reality is, lean in, this is important. You're not a rock. You're not a rock. And it's not very healthy or beneficial for us to do all the sitting that we do, right? As soon as I got on here, you said, are you standing? I want to stand. I need to stand. And so how can we begin to just be aware of taking these little intentional breaks for yourself, starting with your morning routine, but then throughout the day? Remember when we were at school, our teachers were like, get out of here, go out to recess time. And that was for them, I'm sure, but it was also for you, because our brains work in about a 90-minute cycle, and we tend to focus and are at our most creative and flow state for about 45 minutes. And then we start to get a little distracted. So why not use that to your advantage and just put yourself into the go mode for 45 minutes, take a project, work on it for 45 minutes, really intentionally, phone is off, and then take a power pause. So what's a power pause? A power pause is getting up and moving your body, because that's the most effective way for you to energize your entire body, which of course includes your brain. Therefore, you're able to stay focused and be happier and be a nicer human to be around, because you're not cranky and in pain all the time and sucking down like more coffee just to feel like alive. Is giving yourself a natural boost of energy. So having these little mindful moments throughout the day, and yoga at my desk, that's an option totally, because it's a nice way to just get up and get moving. But it doesn't have to be a yoga break. It can be literally as simple as when you take your dog outside to go pee, don't be on your phone. Just be present with your dog. Get out there and move your body a little bit, shake yourself out a little, do some stretches, do some squats, whatever. We tend to want to really complicate things, and as entrepreneurs, a lot of us are really, or we associate and identify as being high achiever and high performing and this, that, and the other thing. Is like, if I'm not going to do it perfectly, then what's the point? Well, what's the point of not doing it at all? Because if we're skipping all of this because we have a million other things to do, then you're sacrificing your own health and happiness for the sake of your goals. And I think that's backwards, and it's not the recipe for success. And in fact, it's a fast track for burnout. So these little breaks throughout the day really help to be the antidote to that.
Yes, and it's funny that you said that, because what I do, my day, especially today, has just been back to back to back to back. I'm in these meetings and that kind of thing, and they're all like hour-long meetings or half-hour meetings or 45-minute meetings. And I realized I actually do something which is now a habit of mine. And literally after every single meeting, after every time that I'm sitting for any length of time at my computer, I get up and I literally just walk around the room. My cat lives in this room with me. And so I'll get up and go play with the cat for 5 minutes. And it literally just gets me up, gets me present with something that's not the work, and gets me out of my own head. And then I come back and I'm so much more productive for it.
Well, that's it. Is what you're doing there is so powerful and it's so effective, is because we're shifting out of a stress state. Whether or not you felt quote unquote stress, when we're in that focused energy, attention, our brain is very alert and it's activating that function of the brain. And if you are stressed, right, if maybe you're about to do a launch or have a sales call or whatever, and you're in actual stress, then that actually shuts down the higher functions of our brain, which are necessary for creativity and focus and performance and memory and cognition and all of these things. And so these little breaks where you're just taking, your form of power pause, like go play with your cat, go outside, whatever it is really helps to take you out of the head, out of the stress survival state, and back to a place of calm, of center, of connectedness, of awareness, because it's literally bringing us out of our head and into our body. And it allows you to tap back into that state of inspiration, right? We've all had those moments when you're in the shower or whatever, and you just get like all of a sudden these incredible downloads, is because we're not trying to figure it out in that moment, because we're not gripping and trying to like force our way into the answer. We're just allowing the space for it to happen. But when we prescribe and subscribe to this old mentality of like, well, in order for me to be successful or to me to be worthy or what have you, that I have to keep working all the time, I got to hustle till my eyes bleed, all of that, it's very old school, and it's a very different mentality than for women. Our energy changes throughout the day and throughout the month. And so it's important for us to tap into these, and that can actually become your superpower, is learning to slow down and do it from a place of that centered, connected awareness, which ultimately, go a little further, is a state of regulation in your nervous system. And the most powerful person in the room is the most regulated person in the room, because then they're able to stay in that creative zone of genius, and they're not tightly wound and spinning out and anxious and da, 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 da. We all know a person like that, right? And it's like, woo, the vibe is not good. And we all get kind of around them. But we also know people that are just cruise, and they're happy, and they go with the flow, and they're probably a lot more regulated. And so it's important for us to just be mindful that as much as our brain is like, no, can't stop, won't stop, must continue, that it's actually not conducive to you winning the race, right? We got to slow down. We got to pace ourselves in order to stick around for the long term in your business.
Yeah, I really like what you said about the stress, and that when you're in that stress mode, you actually get less done
Mm,
because you're in that stress mode. And if you pull yourself back, you're actually more productive. But it's kind of like a catch 22, because you get into that stress mode and it's like, but I got to keep going. I got to keep going. I got to keep going. And you don't want to take a break. And so, you have to force yourself. And like I said, I've literally gotten to the point where being present, it's all about being present, right? So being present, I'll recognize when all of a sudden I'm getting a little bit too hyped up, a little bit stressed out because there's just so much stuff going on. And I'll pull myself back and go, whoa, time out. We need a 5-minute break here. We need a power pause. I mean, I love that name. So I need a power pause. I need to stop for just a couple minutes or whatever. I need to get up. I need to walk away, get away from my computer, get away from my phone, get away from everything for at least 5 minutes. And then I can come back, I'm reset, and it's like, okay, that's what I was doing. Ideas come back to my head. When I'll be sitting there, racking my brain over something, going, why is this not coming to me? And as soon as I actually recognize the fact that that's happening, that's when I'll go, you know what? Get up, walk away. And literally a 5-minute pause, I can come back and go, oh, yeah, that's what I was looking for.
exactly.
It's amazing what 5 minutes will do, right?
Yeah, and that's it. Is we, we tend to underestimate the impact of stuff like that, because we have this, push, push, push mentality. But that's it. Is that what you've done there, and what you've again just proved is that when we're in that survival energy, that stress state, is that things aren't available to us. We're literally like our lens of our eyes becomes so narrowed, because we're very singular in our focus, and we don't even see stuff, because that's, from a survival perspective, is very necessary. But when we take a step back and we widen the lens a little bit, and we get a little bit more of that spaciousness, whatever that looks like, maybe the cat, maybe the dance, maybe the yoga, whatever, is it allows our eyes to relax and to widen. We literally see more, physically see more, which then of course symbolically allows us to be open up to more of that intentionality and that flow state and the creativity.
Right, right. Hey, I just want to make a mention here. I noticed there's a bunch of over on this other screen is my Facebook page, and there's a whole bunch of comments going in and out of there. Just for your information, for all of you who are viewing this on Facebook right now, I can't see the Facebook comments at the moment. I see a stuff going and scrolling through. However, I can't see that because I'm looking at Megan right now on a different screen, because we are streaming right now on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube at the present time. So I just want to let you know I'm not ignoring you over there. We're just focused on it. We're being present right now with Megan. So I know you have got this really cool thing coming up. Tell us about your Sanity Savers series. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you did. Yes. So we're kicking it off really soon. And so what it is a free 3-day series to help you to save your sanity, or what's left of it in my case. And so helping you to literally calm the crazy, go strutting into your day with the confidence of a CEO in literally just 15 minutes, because everything we've been talking about can feel really overwhelming. And it can feel like, well, Megan, you said I got to do the yoga and the exercise and the breath work and the intention and the affirmations. It gets like, and then we shut down. But what I've done is created a way for you to experience all of that in a 15-minute session so that you can learn how to amplify your morning routine. So in the Sanity Saver series, you'll get a brand new session each day, 15 minutes that you can do anytime that works for you in your time zone. Ideally, first thing in the morning, because there's a lot of benefits to boosting your productivity, increasing your metabolism, getting things flowing and going for the day by amplifying your morning routine. So you'll get that each day. You'll learn the 3 pillars of doing that so that you can pour into yourself first, so that you can show up for yourself first, and therefore show up fully and vibrantly and confidently in your business and feel so good that you're like, am I living in my vision board right now? This is amazing. Like your body feels good, your mind is clear, all of those beautiful things. And learn how to do that in a way that really serves and supports you and helps you to stop wasting time and money and energy trying to figure it all out and weave it all together. Because, it's a lot, right? We've all got like on YouTube and try to find inspiration. And then before you know it, you're like watching golden retriever puppy videos for an hour and a half. And you're like, I haven't even done any exercise and I'm just slouching over my keyboard. And so I want to help you to sort all that out. Sanity Saver series, it's totally free. We're kicking it off on the 16th. It's going to be a really powerful way for you to just get back into your routine, get back into your groove, and really show up for yourself so that you can feel so powerful and strong each day without having to guzzle buckets of coffee to feel like you're even alive.
So now I know you're in Hawaii, so you're a completely different time zone than I am, which is why we're doing 3 o'clock Eastern time here. What time is it where you are?
9-ish in the morning.
Yeah. So way different. It's AM to you. It's PM to me. And this new program, you said it's going to be something that people can do like on demand?
Yep. Yeah. So 15-minute sessions, and they'll be available 24/7 so that you can do them whenever it works for you in your schedule, but also in your time zone.
I love that. That is absolutely amazing. Everybody has to sign up for that, because I think every single person who is watching this, watching it on the replay, or anybody who catches this knows that you're not taking enough time for you. I am conscious enough now where I little power pauses in between meetings and stuff like that. However, I can tell you right now, I'm still having times, especially with a book launch coming up. So I'm still having times where it's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get all this done? I got to get this done. I got to get this done. And it's like, whoa, you need to stop. You need to pause. And I think, what you got, because I've seen your yoga at my desk, and I've seen some of your other programs, and they're structured so well to get people to stop and be present.
That's ultimately the goal, right? Is that, we always hear about how it's the journey, not the destination. And it's like, if we're not taking these little moments for ourselves, we get to the end of the day and I have this sometimes of like, I know I did stuff all day long. I took power pauses, but I couldn't tell you everything I did because we're just in that go mode and we're not present with what we're doing. And so it's just a way for you to really intentionally start your day with an amplified morning routine, which is literally the secret to actually enjoying your life, because you drop in. right? You're in your body. You're able to enjoy everything that you've created because you're in appreciation, you're in gratitude, right? And it's so easy for us to just be like, next, always chasing the carrot, always chasing that, next mountaintop or finish line or whatever it is. And it's that we're missing the opportunity to fully appreciate what you're doing when you're doing it. And that's really what this is about, and helping you to save your sanity in the process, because we all know as business owners, it can take a lot, right? And that's part of my deeper why, is because as a community, in the entrepreneur community, 72% of our community has ADD, ADHD, depression, anxiety, or bipolar. And so mental health challenges are very real. They're very real for me. They're very real for many of us. And so helping to use these tools, research-backed ancient tools of yoga and exercise, breath work, to really support you at the deepest level in a way that's fun, because fun, I mean, don't we all want more of that, is really the vision for this free series. So I'd love to have you join us.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't wait, because I'm going to sign up for it myself, because everybody needs to sign up for this. For everybody who's listening to this, have you felt overwhelmed at all? Have you felt anxious at all? Stressed? Freaked out? Right? I mean, all of us have.
Who's got another hand?
Right? If you're a business owner and you've been working your business or anything, I mean, if you're a parent right now, all the kids just went back to school. If you're a parent and a business owner, God bless you, first off, because I don't have kids, so I don't have to worry about that piece of it. And I could just imagine the level that adds on top of your day for stress and everything else that's going on, because it's not just your business you're dealing with. Now you got to get the kids ready, you got to do all this, you got to do all that. And it's just, there's just a lot of balls in the air that you're juggling. And it's just a matter of time before one of them drops, unless you have a system and a plan in place, like this one. And it gets you to stop and at least start your day. And here's what I'm thinking, so you can expand on this and go there, is that, starting your day like this gives you that place and that mindset, so that then in the middle of your day, when all of a sudden you start feeling freaked out for something's going on, you can remind yourself, okay, remember back at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. when we did that thing? Let's just go back there for a moment and stop and reconnect.
Absolutely. And that's actually one of the things that you will learn how to do, is use your amplified morning routine as an anchor for the vision that you have for your day and for how you want to show up. And I'm going to share one of the most powerful ways for you to do that. That's super simple and really, really effective, so that throughout the day, in those moments when you're off balance and you're getting all stressed out, then you have that ability to go back to that place that you created for yourself within yourself. Because the cool thing about this practice that you'll learn is that it's all well and good for you to do it when you're on your yoga mat or in your workout space, but it's actually a practice for life, and you take everything with you wherever you go. Don't tell anybody, but it's true. And so it's really an evolution of self, because you're able to drop back into that, because we all know things get wobbly, right? You stand on one foot and it's wobbly. You go to do a launch and all your links are broken and it's wobbly. And so things are going to happen, but it's really about catching ourselves in those wobbles and intentionally coming back to that place of alignment and coming back to that place of presence that we've been speaking to.
You just reminded me, because I literally just had this conversation on the last call that I was on. And we were talking about, burnout and stuff. And when you said about, your links aren't working and this isn't working and that's not working. And that's what we talked about that. And I have recently gotten really good at pausing, at looking at that stuff. So when all of a sudden I go to open Zoom for a meeting to start and Zoom won't open for me. So now I'm like, oh man, I'm going to be late for my meeting. You start freaking out. I use that and go, wait, okay. The universe just sent me a forced pause saying, you know what? It's not working for a reason. You'll get it working. Don't worry. Breathe. It's all good. Click over here. Now click over there. Now click. All right. It's all good. See? It's like when stuff happens, I think the initial reaction is to freak. It's like you want to freak out. And my computer, it's something's weird. My internet went down. Something happened, and it's weird, and it freaks you out. And if you stop for just a moment and go, okay, what do I do? Let's just take care of it and move on. Because the stuff that's out of our control, the app doesn't open, or your internet goes down, or something. So the stuff that's out of our control is literally out of our control.
Yeah.
So so take it for what it is. Stop trying to control it. Stop freaking out, going, but I have to get it done. It was like, well, you can't. Deal with it. Be present. Go do something else. Take a pause. Go play with the cat for 5 minutes and come back. Whatever it is. And I mean, I know that's what you teach, is to be mindful and take that pause and recenter yourself. And the word I was looking for that you used that I completely zoned on at first was that anchor. You need to anchor yourself to something so that you can keep coming back, and you have that place so that when I'm going out. Okay, I'm coming back. It's all good.
Well, that's it. And that anchor really kind of unwinds us, and so the more tightly wound that we are, or the more stressed that we are, the more reactive we get in those situations, right? We've all had those moments when we're hungry and tired, and we need a break and we haven't taken one, and then something happens and we just absolutely lose it. Whereas normally something like that probably wouldn't have caused that high level of reaction. And so when we have that anchor, we have that intentional pouring into yourself, the cup is full, if you will, then we're able to give, and we're able to handle situations more gracefully because we're more regulated, right? We're in the green zone. We're not up here all wound up in the red zone, all stressed out. Like we're walking that thin line between a meltdown and blow up. Somebody says the right thing or the wrong thing and you just lose it. And so it's really that intentional weaving in, dripping in of these tools so that you are able to navigate the inevitable challenges, because they're going to happen, right? And it's all about energy management, essentially. But it really comes back to that willingness to observe ourselves and to be able to slow down. And that's really, how we maintain our sanity, and what we're going to learn about in the series. So I'd love to have you join us.
Yeah, I love that. And I was chuckling when you first started talking, because you were talking about being wound up, and I immediately got this vision, totally dating myself, for all of us who remember, when telephones had cords on them, and you'd be sitting there with the cord, and then eventually the cord got all wound up. And what did you do? You picked the cord up by the end, and you let the phone just like hang and dangle, and it unwound itself. That's what we have to do. We have to like unwind ourselves sometimes and get back to normal. And so I love this. Any really good, parting tip for, I don't know, I don't know if I can put you on the spot for this or not. Is there one specific little tidbit from the program that you want to share for something they could do right away to maybe be more present or something?
Yeah. So from the series, it's that little bits add up, and doing little things throughout the day is far better than doing nothing. But one of the tools that we use throughout our Rise and Vibe sessions, throughout the sessions that you're going to get to experience, is the power pose. And so power pose is really essentially strong, grounded, confident posture. And so you can do this. We're both standing right now, but you can do this sitting. And it is essentially grounding yourself down into whatever surface you're on. So whether that's your feet or your seat, and kind of pressing yourself down into it as you would plug something into an electrical socket. So press your feet down, press your sit bones down. And what you're doing there is creating a ground force reaction. So you're pressing yourself down and you're literally getting grounded. And then from that, visualize yourself getting taller up through the center of your body. There you go. And so from the belly to the chest, through the crown of your head, and go through the back of your head. So a lot of us tend to jut the chin forward when we lift the head. So see if you can imagine lengthening through the base of your skull and floating your head up like it's a balloon, and then breathe. So simple. So sitting or standing tall, and then breathing deeply. And I want you to, if it's safe for you to, you can close your eyes. And I want you to just feel into the most centered, grounded, confident, powerful version of you that you know and you feel is your higher self. And I want you to just feel how that version of you would sit or stand in this moment. See if you can open yourself up to that. See if you can allow that to really be embodied in this moment. And it's that simple, right? We tend to overcomplicate things, but it's really that intentional dropping into your body and using your body as a tool to become present. That is first and foremost nervous system regulation, but also alignment and higher self connection and embodiment. And so all of those things simultaneously, because it's all the same. And so that would be a tip, is how often throughout the day, ideally multiple times a day, maybe an hour or once an hour, excuse me, is to just drop into that and breathe. And that will really, really do incredible things. And don't let your mind say, oh, that's so silly, it's so simple, make it more complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated. It shouldn't be complicated. And it certainly can be very effective in its simplicity if you do it.
Yeah, well, it's funny because when you said that and I stood up straighter, here's the thing. We're all so like used to like just hanging down or leaning over a keyboard or looking down at our phones or whatever, that it feels uncomfortable to stand the way I'm actually supposed to stand.
Yeah, it's unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So just doing that can help retrain your body too to start being more aligned and more grounded. I
absolutely.
love that. All right. So for everybody who's watching in, we are out of time. I love having you here, Megan, because we could talk forever. I could bring up your book. I could bring up a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, I could go on and on and on about your stuff because I love it. However, we are out of time. I know we wanted to focus in on this free program you got going on. So I will make sure that this link that you see here, because it's a bit.ly link, it is going to be underneath the Facebook video. It's going to be under the YouTube, under the LinkedIn. It'll be everywhere to make sure that you sign up. And if you have any questions for Megan, Megan is in our Facebook group. So just answer any questions, tag Megan. She'll be more than happy to come out there and answer any questions you have. I know she will. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been super fun.
All right. And we will see you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again. And we will see you all next time on Coffee with Regina. It was a little soda water with Regina, but next time it will be Coffee with Regina. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you.